If you've been enjoying the monthly energy reports here on my channel, you're going to want to tune in for this exciting update. Every week, I have show notes below every video. And in the show notes, there's a link to my weekly newsletter that gets sent out to my list every Saturday. And in that newsletter, there has been a free reading every week for almost a year now that I've been doing it. It's been super fun. It's been a great experiment. My list has been so generous helping me test this out. And it was finally time to introduce an extended reading version of the newsletter. So now on Sundays, I send an extended reading. It's an entire newsletter full of tarot and Akashic channeling, and it's exclusively for your business. So this week, I'm going to show you a very small sample of what the paid newsletter subscribers are getting every Sunday in their inbox. We do extended readings that are longer, and we also have little short snippets so that you can get a pulse on the energy for the week for major pillars in your business, like your revenue and your finance, your marketing and your lead gen, your community and your support, your systems and your operations. And we really dig into that together so that you can start your week off on a strong footing. If you would like to get on this list, all you have to do is go look below the video. There's a link right at the top so that you can subscribe. It's only $9 a month. You can hop in and out as you please, come and go as you like, and it just gives you an opportunity to really make sure that you're putting your intuitive needs at the forefront with your business so that you can feel better about the decisions that you're making every week. All right, let's talk about revenue and finance for the week. Your card for the week is the Three of Wands in the upright position. So it came out looking like this. And what I love for this for you in terms of revenue and finance is that it is really like having the high ground and being able to look at the bigger picture, being able to see your ships coming in or what you've even sent out. I love that it's a commanding position. I love the way the artwork is drawn in this card. You know, her stance is commanding. She is, in command of her staff. She's firmly planted, and there's really this feeling of growth. The 3 number in numerology and tarot indicates the point where things start to grow, and so I feel like there's a lot of that. Now, this doesn't. The thing that I think is really important is that this is the wands element and it is fire. And so it is a lot about initiating and creativity and things happening, and not necessarily about like the ships like docking and coming in and bringing all of the goods back in and all that. It's not quite there yet, but there is this feeling this week of like needing to get the high ground and to really get a clear picture, a clear overview. The skies are clear. There's not a cloud in the sky. There's nothing stopping you from having a very clear picture of how your finance is going in your business. So it's the week to do some forecasting. It's the week to catch up on like your receipts and look at your budget. In the incubator, we do inventory and like really looking at like what is going on with the money in my business. It's less about like, do I have more going out than coming in? It's more like, how does the return on my investment look? Because I feel like for some of you, she is the type of person where she's sent some fortunes out in order to bring more back in. But it's like being able to see that like they're not being overtaken by rough, choppy waters. There's no storm. Her investment is secure and it is safe and it's doing what it's supposed to do. As opposed to, just sort of hanging on to stuff. There's nothing about this energy that has to do with like hanging on to things in any sort of like miserly way. So get the higher ground so you can decide how you want to work with your finance. And I think it will help you make better strategic decisions by the time we get to next week. Okay, your card for the week for marketing and lead generation is the Queen of Swords. And she was in the upright position and she looks like this. And I loved that y'all pulled this card for marketing and lead gen, because the Queen of Swords is part of the Sword Suite's air element. It's about mental faculty and thinking. And the Queen of Swords is a very analytical and calculating archetypal energy in the tarot. I feel like this week is the week to literally, like with the sword, like with your mind, like trim the fat, cut through the crap, like look at things for what they are, slice and dice, rearrange messaging, do what you need to do in order to become very clear and really fall in love again with the idea of your messaging. The Queen is a wordsmith. She has the ability to put things into words that may not have been said before. I feel like she has the ability to help you see how you can articulate yourself differently than somebody else. I always feel like the people who gravitate towards me here in the Sensible Woo space are like me. We like to ride in these interesting in-between spaces where we live in a very both and existence, and learning how to articulate the both and is actually a skill. It's something that takes practice. It's something that takes time. And I love that she has this bird who's floating above her, and these clouds in the background. There's this whole other world, that's happening, but she always has like these, almost like that's like her intuition, like sentinels that can like see things, further out. So I would let yourself, be very critical in your thinking process this week around your marketing activities. Look at the data. I'm hearing like, look at the data on when you're sending things and how you're sending things. What are people actually interacting with? Are you really getting, what you need from that? Is it lighting up your soul inside? Have you seen anything interesting that's happening in your audiences, and how are you going to address that in the coming months? I believe that you also are seeing patterns, just as I am seeing patterns, and some of them might match up and some of them might be completely different, but whatever patterns you're seeing are not to be ignored, and this Queen of Swords knows not to ignore it. So my advice to you is really look at that critically. And somebody's guide is like, write it down. Write it down. Somebody here loves to just like sit and sort of like think about things. And they're like, write it down. Park it someplace where you can actually deal with the information. So instead of like looking up a little like, Instagram insight metrics over here and then not writing it down, and then going over here to look at like your newsletter thing over here, and then you're like, oh wait, what was the number? Well, it could be like maybe, no, like write it down so you actually know what you're looking at, so that you can do that critical analytical thinking that she is so equipped to do. Your card this week for support and community is the Three of Cups in reverse. So it came out looking like this, but the card artwork looks like that. And I thought this was so interesting that it came in reverse. I was like, oh, there is something happening here. Okay, so the Three of Cups, I have typically called this the party card. I mean, they literally look like they're at a party, like Coachella or something. I don't know. It's the Modern Witch Tarot. It's very modern. It's probably a festival. And so when we're talking about community, I love it when the Three of Cups card shows up in a community question, because it is entirely about community. These are really like your ride or dies. It's people celebrating together. But the fact that it's in reverse this week, I immediately picked up on some really important notes. One of the big important notes was you need a break from some of these groups and communities. You just need a break. It might be as simple as just like a week off. It might be something where like something's coming up and you just need to be like, maybe I'll wait. Like if you have time before you can make a decision and say yes, you can wait. It might be information that's already coming in that where you're like, yeah, I know I need a break. And what you need to do is like plant that flag in you, park that post-it in your heart, and remember that you had that feeling. Remember your extended general reading about the Queen of Cups and feelings. Remember the feelings that you have, so that you can make better critical decisions and not get swept up in moments where you just are like blow past the intuitive guidance that you already gave yourself previously. So like, I'll give you a very personal example of this that's coming up. So next week I head to Boise, Idaho for the ConvertKit conference. They do it every year. Yes, they're based in Boise. It's a strange location, I know. And last year I bought my ticket for this year because when you're sitting there, you're all like hyped up from the event and they're like, here's your discounted ticket. And so I bought the ticket right away. I was like, it's so cheap. Like, why not? And it was very cheap. And this year I've already had the intuitive message, don't buy the ticket right away. There's something happening between now and next year where I'm like, I don't know that I want to be stuck with a ticket to that event again. I need to leave myself open. I've already had the intuitive hit. It has come in a variety of ways, through emotions, through practical thinking, through all kinds of things, but it's all very energetic. And so it has this feeling of like 3 of Cups in reverse, where it's like, yeah, great people and everything, but like the energy is shifting right now. What is it telling you about your community and your support? And that can be community in all kinds of places. It can be support in all kinds of ways. There's somebody in here, and you know, I try to focus on business, but somebody in here, this has to do a lot with things that are a little more personally leaning. So it might just be like, not necessarily like business groups or business friends, but they are, I don't know who they are. I can't quite identify that right now. I'm not meant to. But it's sort of like, maybe I don't need to go to like all these brunches. I keep thinking of movie references. Of course I do. But Julie and Julia, that's based off of that book, where Amy Adams is playing the woman in the modern times who was the food blogger who cooked all of Julia Child's recipes. And she has that scene where she tells her husband, she's like, tomorrow's Cobb salad lunch with these friends from college, and they're sort of like frenemy friends. And they do this thing where they get together for Cobb salad, and everybody orders their Cobb salad with some kind of special thing where they're like, Cobb salad, no eggs, Cobb salad, extra dressing, Cobb salad, something, you know? And she's just like not thrilled. She doesn't want to go. She feels like she's going to be judged. And I keep getting that feeling on this too. I feel like for some of you, it's a little bit more personal where it's like these friends, but for most everybody, it has to do with like groups that you've been hanging out with where it's like, they're not bad people. It's just, it's not the right time right now, or maybe ever again. I don't know. But it's just not, it's not like the Lego blocks don't line up. They just don't line up. So I feel like there's a bit of solitude coming up in the coming week. I feel like you need, however you do it, you've got to carve out some time for you. The phone goes on silent, or you have a personal retreat day. That's something that's been working particularly well. I've been doing that on my calendar where I just like, I've blocked off an entire day where I'm like, this is a home retreat day. I've been doing amazing things, cleaning things up. And it's given me a chance to really like reconnect with like certain feelings and thoughts that I need to make sure that I account for later. So there's a very long-winded answer to this card, but I felt like it had a lot of information in it. Yeah, if you find yourself burned out because you say yes to all the things, think back to this card and figure out when are you going to carve out some alone time so that you can kind of recharge your batteries. You know I'm going to do a card for systems and operations, and your card this week is the Knight of Swords in the upright position. So it came out looking like that. And this is some dub the fastest card in the tarot, and it is. It's a very swift moving card. With your systems and your operations being a sword element, being about mental faculty and thinking, I feel like things are moving very, very quickly, and they are meant to. I don't feel like you're meant to overthink things. I don't feel like you're meant to sort of sit and like rearrange your paperclip collection kind of thing. Not that. You're meant to like move forward. I'm keep hearing move forward with imperfect action. Done is better than perfect. Move forward, move forward. You can always go back. You can edit. You can always go back. You can correct it. But like, get these things done. It may be partly because I'm thinking about incubator and how we're heading into a month full of inventory and all kinds of stuff. But like this would be a really great month to do that. It's also come up in the energy reports in general. And I wasn't even thinking about inventory and how we're doing that in incubator, but I feel like the energy is really supporting that. So, cross your T's, dot your I's. For some of you, it's as simple as like, you need to clean out your email inbox. And I mean, clean it out, organize the stuff. There should be 0 in the inbox when you are done. Like everything needs to be dealt with, and it brings in movement, and it clears space, and it allows you to think through things. For one of you, you're going to let go of so much stuff. You're going to be like, I can't believe I was hanging on to all that. But like really, really allowing yourself to swiftly like fly forward, be free. That is a really big part of this Knight of Swords energy for your systems and operations this week. The other thing too is like, somebody here really needs to go for something, and I feel like it has to do with like either setting up a new piece of software, or like there's a deal for it, or there's somebody you want to work with who helps you set it up somehow. But it's sort of this like charge forward, like go get it, don't miss them. It has this feeling of like, I keep seeing like this old timey Western movie where somebody's like riding in a horse in from the prairie, and like the train's about to leave the station. Like the person they need to talk to is standing on the platform, and there's nothing like angry about it or anything. It's just like they just like needed to tell them, my answer is yes, I want to do the work with you, you know? And they're just like riding. It's like, ride to the train station, go tell them and go get that thing done. Say yes. There's a lot of like, say yes. And a lot of it is saying yes to you, which is really interesting. So, you know, if you've been avoiding on hitting go on a particular system or even a process, that it doesn't even have to cost money, okay? But like something where you need to say yes, the answer is like, and you know the answer is yes. This is not a doubtful thing where you're like, I'm not sure, I need to think about it, whatever. It's like if you're hearing this and you're like, oh yeah, the answer is yes, you know who you are, you know what it is. And it's like, ride, fly like wind, and like, go say yes, go tell them yes, even if you have to shout it as they're like on the platform, but they can hear you, and you're like, it's yes. And they're like, okay, I heard you, got it. And then the train takes off, like, fine, you know, but make sure that you take care of that answer this week. I feel like that actually goes really well with, I just read the card for the support and community, which was the 3 of Cups in reverse. And I feel like the reason why we need to take a break from like all the voices, all of the people, all the things, is because we need time to fly like the wind, to go tell the right yes to the right person. It's very specific. It's very, very specific. And also clean up your stuff. Start with the basic things. Start with it's email and calendar. It's like email and calendar. Somebody's got like a clutter of like, and it looks real pretty on the outside, but like on the inside, it is just like, it's like papers or something. Clean that up too. Okay. That's your message for the week on systems. So once you sign up, you'll get a welcome message from me. And for whatever day of the week you subscribe, the next closest Sunday on the calendar is when you will get your very first extended reading newsletter. So I will see you on the next closest Sunday from when you subscribe.